Afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Grey Market Blast with myself and the amazing Angie from Consus Ag Consulting. And what day it is? It's Thursday, the 6th of February, even. Let's just see where Angie is. Dun-dun-dun. There she is. Right, let's get her added. Invite to co-host. There we go. I can tell you what I can do. I can just quickly read out the legal. So nothing discussed on this Spaces session constitutes trading or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by PIQ Global Limited, traders PIQ or PIQ Suite, or indeed the hosts, which as you know by now is the amazing Angie Setzer, way, and myself, the amazing Ryan Paisley, way.
Yay!
But before we go any further, I just discovered it's your birthday today.
It is my birthday.
So,
I am 43 whole years old.
Hang on. So if everyone can join me at home, happy birthday to you.
Woo-hoo!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angie. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Woohoo! What a day.
What a day. What a day.
That's right. I have officially put my request in to President Xi and President Trump that they kiss and make up, and we get March corn to break out above $5. So there we go. It's for my growers. That's what I always am. I'm out here just, working hard for the farmers that I work for. That felt awkward. So I guess let's just get started. So, but thank you.
That's why. So just for the listeners that were looking for us yesterday, that is genuinely why you were busy with hundreds of farmers, and I was busy taking calls with some potential investors for PIQ as well. So it was a busy day for us all yesterday.
It was super busy. It was a great time. I always love. We do a grower meeting once a winter, basically, just to kind of shake everything out and swap neurovirus germs and things. The usual. And so we did our meeting, and super great group came in, and I don't know. I feel blessed. I'm having one of those days where it's like, holy crap, like, look at what you've done in 43 years. That's pretty cool, huh? Let's see what 43 more brings. So
exactly
ready to rock. So, but let's talk about market things. No one cares about what I have to say about that. Market wise, like yesterday, obviously, like roller coaster. I hope you like it, because we're gonna see that for a while. Just the back and forth. We didn't get any sort of updates. Yesterday was the first day back of China, right, coming back from the holiday, first official day anyway. Trump tried to pull him back in a few days early and didn't necessarily win. But instead of a Trump and Xi phone call, we got an official filing with the World Trade Organization. So I think partly of that. It was a little bit disappointing, though. I mean, the WTO, I found that interesting this morning and mentioned it in comments, right? We don't have any appellate judges. So basically, like, even if the WTO is like, the U.S. is in the wrong, good luck. It doesn't matter. But it was something that they had done. And in addition, we had seen better rainfall across portions of Argentina that wasn't necessarily forecast, with more in the way of potential rain in the forecast here over the next few days, the next 2 weeks, actually. And so it just kind of weighed heavily upon the market. We were up towards resistance, and right now we're just really struggling. I called it our but problem a while ago, and I think we're still there, where it's like, okay, we're right up towards the high end of what has been the range. In corn, it's 478 to about 498 at this point, 497. In beans, it's been around 1030, 1040-ish to about 1080. And so we were up at these levels, and without something that kicks us beyond them, we're going to be open up to just profit taking, a nice little sell-off before folks kind of regroup and come back in. We just really need to kind of solidify what's going to happen next between the U.S. and China, in the U.S. and everybody. Like, they have those shirts at the airport, Detroit versus everybody. Like right now it's the U.S. versus everybody. And so we'll see kind of how that plays out here over the next day or so. There are some rumors, right, that Trump and Xi are supposed to talk today. But I'm not going to hold my breath at this point. But it is something that we're definitely keeping an eye on. And I think that's the biggest thing right now, is just kind of the lack of development. Bull needs to be fed every day, right? And so you get a lack of development right up towards the high side of the range. Not surprising to see a sell-off, especially when you can throw in the added Argentina weather looks better glitter on everything. So that's kind of point one, just a summary of yesterday leading into today.
I'm with you.
So, and what's interesting now, what we're going to pay attention to is we are seeing the bean market kind of recover a bit here overnight. We're back up 5, traded down to, 10.55 on the overnight. We saw Chinese bean prices spike a bit. We are seeing what would be called more of a short squeeze in supply. So that's something that, I've talked about it quite a few times before, and I'll talk about it, until I'm blue in the face, until I'm 85 or whatever. But just because you have stuff or have numbers on a sheet doesn't mean you necessarily have that grain flowing into the pipeline. And so right now what we have a problem with is the Brazil harvest delays. The Brazilian harvest delays are causing an issue with getting beans into export. A lot of the domestic crushers are working to grab up what has come into the pipeline, because we are looking at a 2 to 3 week delay. And now we are seeing great production. Like, don't get me wrong, central northern areas production potential is record high. Southern Brazil, not so much, but I think you're going to see that stabilize. The biggest problem that we have is that we've just had this heavy rain and these delays, and freight is hard to get your hands on. And so in Brazil, they really need a ton of trucks. Our friends at AgriInvest have said something like, I don't even want to repeat it because it feels so high, but it's a massive amount of trucks that are needed each and every day in Mato Grosso alone just to be able to move the massive amount of beans out of the fields, out of the farmer hands, out of the elevator, and into the world pipeline or into the crusher. Freight across Brazil has increased on average 90 cents a bushel in portions of Mato Grosso over the last 2 weeks. And so that's pretty extensive to be looking at. And it's not something, according to our friends at AgriInvest, that the farmer is paying. It's something that the commercial is paying. And so last year, the commercial got hammered because of the smaller crop size, and they had to pay up in basis, and they had some of these other things. And now this year they're getting hammered because of the unexpected increase in freight. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. In addition, if you can't move soybeans out of the field, any crop really, but if it's ready to go, especially when you're looking at really significantly heavy rainfall coming at you again, beans really, once they're mature, once they've been desiccated, like we're hearing reports of, you have a window. If you don't get them out within that window, you can start to lose quality. And so there are some concerns that we'll see some additional quality loss and things like that. And so that's something to pay attention to. It does appear as though the Argentina crop size is smaller than what the USDA is predicting, by upwards of 250 to 300 million bushels, give or take, depending on where we land from a soybean standpoint. And so then to have this slowdown in movement out of Brazil, you're just seeing a sharp inverse in cash. It could potentially spill over into some U.S. business that we weren't anticipating, but it does hurt long term because you have to move the beans eventually, even if they're of poorer quality later on or whatever. It'll be something that we're going to have to watch.
Got you.
So I think that's point 2, something to pay attention to. Logistics is always a blast. And then 3, it's all, what's Trump going to do? What are we going to see happen? Are we going to get any clarity from biofuels? We've got Lee Zeldin in place. He's working on the wildfire recoveries and some of these other things. Obviously, he's got a bit of a project on his hands, but we need to see, or it would be nice to hear, are biofuels going to fall under the category of energy independence and making America great? To me, I think they.
Am I going crazy, or this?
Why?
Because I'm the student here, and well, obviously most people listening in know far more about grey markets than me, so I'm definitely the student in the room. But this bio fuel kind of stuff. This is the same biofuel that we've been waiting for clarity on since basically we started doing the grey market blast, right?
Yes.
It is, right?
Yeah. Okay. Biden was supposed to have an answer for us on 45Z. Yeah.
Is it not like this never been done yet?
We're basically flying without pants in the biofuel industry at this point in time. They would tell you, they're producing on the expectation of things improving, or at least the outlook getting more clarity. And so, we needed, what happened is we had a biofuel blenders credit that expired at the end of 2024. It was supposed to be replaced with 45Z, which was in the Inflation Reduction Act. Obviously, Trump has kind of frozen the Inflation Reduction Act spending and some of these other things. And so that becomes a question. Biden was supposed to provide us clarity to avoid most of this, but he never really did. We had some outlooks on some things. We saw some changes with climate smart agriculture. And I think that's maybe the biggest holdup at this point in time going forward is, we're seeing this change in administration and approach towards climate change, climate smart agriculture, those types of practices. And so that's part of it. But, really all I'm asking for here, maybe I take that back. We don't need Trump and Xi to become best friends today for my birthday. Just Trump just needs to basically put on Truth Social that he loves biofuels. And that'd be good enough for me. Maybe if he's listening, wink, come on. But, that's really one of the things right now that we need to see more of to get a better feel going forward.
Am I right in thinking that there must be so many projects, so much cash and projects that are kind of sidelined at the moment?
Yes.
Because you can't, you're not going to invest into infrastructure for biofuel and stuff if you don't know what the hell is going on, right? It's just,
and that's the hardest part is and a lot of people have already made those investments, and so they're sitting there kind of, white-faced or white-knuckling it at this point, waiting to see. We did see ADM CEO come out at the start of the week and say that they expect to see more clarity in the biofuel sector and that they anticipate it will improve margins. And so to me, I feel like anytime ADM or, any of the ABCDs say, we're expecting this and it's going to happen, that tells me that their lobbying group is probably telling them that they're, but we'll see. And so that's really where we're at, is we have the same things, different day in the grain markets right now. We're just going to continue to pay attention to, what's going to happen between the US and China. And obviously we're still watching any sort of friction that develops between Mexico, Canada, and the US until we can maybe, I don't know how that works. Like, do we just kind of kick the can down the road for 30 days at a time forever? Perhaps. I have no idea.
You wouldn't rule it out, right?
Right? Yeah, no, that's just it. Like, I'm just to the point now where I'm like, we could spend the next four years having excitement every 30 days. It's just one of those things that you might want to get used to. I have no idea, but that's where we stand. We're just Trump and trade and South American production potential and all of these other things that we're watching there. The logistical flow of grain out of the country and what that could mean for potential U.S. Demand. We have heard rumors, and then I'll stop talking. But we have heard rumors that China has come in and bought about 3 million metric tons of soybeans recently and 2 million metric tons of corn. That was part of what pushed the market much higher on Tuesday. I'm confused by what day it is anymore. But on Tuesday when we went up versus yesterday when we went down, there were some rumors that we had seen some Chinese purchases made. We have seen a bump in ocean freight, according to some freight brokers and some traders that I've seen. That could be an indication that has happened, but we're not necessarily seeing big signs of that in the interior, with basis or some of these other things. And so time will tell. Either way we go, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot to talk about. And so now we'll just see if Trump grants me my birthday wishes.
Exactly. Well, I hope he does. I hope for everyone out there that's relying on some clarity that he does grant your birthday wish. Just a shout out to yourself and our good friends at Bar Chart. Next week, you're doing a webinar, aren't you? I put it up on the Jumbotron in the Spaces event. So if you are able to, definitely tune in and listen to what Angie has to say on South American production and what else was it? Corn and soybean production, right?
Yeah, corn and soybean production, grain flow, what the heck's going on? The usual. The only things I'm capable of focusing on anymore. Like that's what it's like. What are you doing for your birthday? That's this week. I didn't even know.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's it. But yeah, so it'll be good. We'll have lots to talk about, and we'll be back in the morning.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being your awesome self as usual. Once again, I think I speak for everyone that's listening in. Happy birthday. 35 today. And you take care of yourself. I want to see some pictures later of you and a big birthday cake.
I already decided we're doing ice cream for dinner, so I don't know what. Anyway.
Perfect. So. Well, send me some pictures. Angie, thank you as always. Listeners, thank you as always. And we will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys. Thank you.